Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we are diving into something pretty foundational, something that really underpins so much of modern life. The basic language of money.
Yeah.
We've got this excellent source material. It's a simple guide, really designed for beginners, that kind of boils down financial terms to their core.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission in this deep dive really is to unpack these fundamental words together. We want to help you feel more comfortable, more informed, whether you're managing your own finances, maybe just reading the news, or dealing with money stuff at work.
And what's really crucial here, I think, is the why. Why bother? This source makes a really important point right up front. Finance, it can seem incredibly complex,
Oh,
right?
yeah, like a whole different language.
Exactly, full of jargon. But it emphasizes that it all starts with, surprisingly simple concepts. Understanding these basic building blocks, kind of mastering this core vocabulary, it's presented as the absolute essential first step towards managing your money wisely, confidently.
It's like giving you the tools, isn't it?
Precisely. The tools to understand the financial world around you.
Absolutely. So this guide, it lays out 20 keywords, building blocks, you could say. We're going to go through them one by one, almost like learning the ABCs of finance.
Think of it like your essential financial glossary. Just, explain simply.
Okay, let's start right at the very beginning. The absolute core. Number 1, money.
Money.
The source gives a really clear definition. A medium of exchange used to buy goods or services. Simple enough. And the example they use is perfect. I need money to pay my rent.
And the guide, it really emphasizes that while, it sounds basic, money is the starting point for, everything else we're going to talk about. How you understand it, how you choose to use that medium of exchange, that's presented as key to managing your life, your opportunities.
Right. So if money is what you use to buy things, where does it actually come from? That brings us nicely to number 2, income.
Income.
This is defined as the money you earn from your job, business, or investments. Pretty straightforward. Example, my income is $25,000 per month.
Yeah, and what's interesting, as this source points out, is that income isn't always, the same steady flow each month.
Yeah.
It makes this distinction between regular income, like your fixed monthly salary.
Right. Predictable.
And irregular income.
Yeah.
That could be from freelance work, maybe a side business, even a one-off sale or something. Understanding that flow is really important.
Okay, so we have money coming in as income. Where does it typically go? That leads us, naturally, to number 3, expense.
The outgoings.
Exactly. This is simply money you spend on things like food, rent, or transport, your outgoings. A very relatable example they give is, my biggest expense is house rent.
And connecting this back to managing your money, the guide highlights that just being aware of where your money's actually going, just understanding your expenses.
Just knowing.
That's the fundamental step. It's step 1 towards planning your spending effectively, maybe finding places you can save. It's about recognizing the pattern of your outflow, really.
And when you put your income and your expenses together, hopefully with some money left over, you get to number 4, budget.
The plan.
The plan. The source defines this as a plan for how to use your income wisely by dividing it into expenses and savings. It's your financial roadmap, basically. An example is, I created a monthly budget to manage my salary.
Yeah, and this is where the planning really kicks in. This guide, it makes a pretty compelling case for budgeting. It shows that a good budget isn't meant to be restrictive.
Yeah, not at all.
It actually helps you avoid overspending. It can reduce financial stress, and it just gives you control.
Yeah.
It's taking that awareness of income and expense and turning it into an actual strategy.
Speaking of dividing your income, part of that plan is often, setting money aside. That brings us neatly to number 5, savings.
Savings.
The definition is straightforward. The money you keep aside instead of spending, like, I save 5,000 euros every month for emergencies.
And the purpose here, according to this source, is incredibly important. Savings aren't just like idle money sitting there.
Yeah.
They serve crucial roles. They help you handle emergencies. They provide funds to maybe achieve your dreams, buy something big, and they even serve as the foundation for future investments. They represent potential, security.
Okay, so you've got this money coming in, you budget it, you have your expenses, you set some aside as savings. Where do you usually keep that money safe? That takes us to number 6, bank.
The bank.
Defined simply as a place where you can safely keep money, borrow money, or open accounts. For instance, I opened a savings account in SBI Bank.
Yeah, and this guide points out that banks aren't just like storage vaults. They provide security for your funds, sure, but they also offer ways for your money to grow, maybe through interest, which we'll get to, and they provide access to extra funds when you need them.
And that brings us right to the borrowing part. What if you need more money than you have right now, maybe for a big purchase or an important need? Number 7, loan.
The loan.
This is money borrowed from a bank or someone, which must be paid back, often with interest. The example they use is pretty common. I took a loan to buy a new bike.
And this source, it touches on the different reasons people borrow. It mentions common types you'll probably hear about, like home loans, education loans, personal loans, stuff like that.
Right.
It's basically borrowing against your future income for something you need or, well, want today.
You mentioned interest just now when talking about loans and also savings. Let's define that clearly. Number 8, interest.
Interest. Key concept.
This is the extra money paid when you borrow money, or earned when you save or invest. It's basically the cost of using someone else's money, or maybe the reward for letting someone else use yours, the example given. This loan has 10% interest per year.
And what's really key here, and this guide makes it clear, is telling the difference between interest you pay.
Like on that loan.
Yeah, exactly. And interest you receive, like maybe on your savings account or investments, understanding which side of that transaction you're on, involving interest, it's fundamental to making smart financial choices.
Okay. Shifting gears slightly, what about using money today, but with the promise to pay it back very soon? That's number 9. Credit. Credit.
Defined as using money now and paying later, like through a credit card, a very common example. I used my credit card for shopping.
This concept is powerful. I mean, it offers flexibility, doesn't it? Especially in emergencies. But this source includes a really crucial warning.
Important to know.
Credit is a tool, and it must be managed responsibly. Paying it back on time is absolutely essential if you want to avoid problems down the line.
And, well, failing to repay loans or credit on time or just letting them pile up, that leads directly to number 10.
Debt. Debt.
This is simply the total amount of money you owe from loans or credit cards. The example given, he is trying to pay off his debt slowly.
And this guide includes a pretty clear warning here. Look, borrowing itself isn't necessarily bad, but high levels of debt, that can create significant financial stress. It can really limit your future options.
Yeah, feels heavy.
It does. The simple advice, yet powerful, is just
Good.
only borrow what you're confident you can actually repay within your means. Okay, so that covers some really fundamental concepts about earning, spending, saving, borrowing, owing money. Now let's look at some practical ways we actually interact with our money today, often digitally. Number 11. ATM stands for Automated Teller Machine.
The cash machine.
The cash machine. It's a machine that lets you withdraw or check your money from a bank account anytime. Pretty common, right? I used an ATM to take out cash.
Yeah, ATMs brought a lot of convenience, didn't they? Letting us get cash outside banking hours. But the world keeps moving, and this guide includes even more modern tools. Number 12, UPI, Unified Payments Interface.
UPI, yeah, that's everywhere now.
It's a purely digital idea. A digital payment method used for transferring money instantly, like I paid the grocery bill through UPI.
And they specifically mention popular examples you'll definitely see. PhonePe, Google Pay, Paytm, others too. It's become incredibly widespread for those quick, everyday transactions.
And building on that digital theme, number 13 is wallet, specifically a digital wallet.
Like a virtual wallet.
Exactly. It's a mobile app where you can keep money digitally for payments. For example, my Paytm wallet had 2,000 forts.
And the source highlights a key benefit of these digital wallets. They make online shopping and quick payments just much, much easier. It acts like a virtual purse, kind of linked to your digital money.
Okay, moving from tools to identification. Number 14 is an essential ID for a lot of financial activities. PAN card.
PAN card, right.
Stands for Permanent Account Number. It's described as a unique ID issued by the Indian government, needed for many financial activities. You might hear someone say, I gave my PAN card to open a bank account.
And the guide clarifies its purpose. It's a crucial tool that helps the government track financial transactions, mainly for tax purposes, and it also helps prevent fraud.
Which brings us quite naturally to number 15, tax.
Tax. Can't avoid it.
Pretty much. This is money paid to the government from your income or purchases. It's essentially how public services get funded. An example they give, I paid 5% tax on my restaurant bill.
And this source, it breaks down the main types you're most likely to bump into. Income tax, which is taken from your salary or earnings,
Right.
and GST, goods and services tax, which is applied to things you buy.
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit. From spending and taxes to making your money potentially grow for you. Number 16, investment.
Investment, making your money work.
That's the idea. It means putting your money into something with the hope it will grow. The example, he invested in mutual funds for long-term benefits.
And this guide lists some common places people choose for investment. You've got the stock market, mutual funds, gold, real estate, those kinds of things. It's about using your money to potentially make more money over time.
And one specific type of investment that this source highlights, particularly if you're just starting out, is number 17, mutual funds.
Mutual funds, yeah, I hear a lot about those.
Defined as a pool of money collected from many investors and managed by experts. You might hear about something called an SIP, systematic investment plan. That's a popular way to invest in mutual funds.
And the reason this guide recommends mutual funds for beginners, well, it's presented as a way to potentially grow wealth gradually with professional management involved. Makes it seem less daunting than, say, picking individual stocks yourself.
Makes sense. Okay, now, protecting yourself against potential financial hardship. That brings us to number 18, insurance.
Insurance, the safety net.
Good way to put it. It's a service you pay for, called a premium, to protect against future loss. An example. She has health insurance to cover hospital bills.
And the source lists the common types you'll likely come across. Life insurance, health insurance, vehicle insurance. The idea is paying a little now to avoid a potentially huge loss later on.
Right. Okay, getting back to managing your bank account, but doing it from your computer or phone.
Yeah.
Number 19, net banking.
Online banking, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Using the internet to manage your bank account and do transactions. Like, I paid my electricity bill using net banking.
And this guide lists some really clear benefits. It's safe, it's fast, and it dramatically cuts down the need to physically go to a bank branch for most everyday tasks. It's banking on your terms, really, anytime.
Definitely convenient. Okay, finally, bringing it all together, the income, the expenses, the savings, investments, everything in between. It kind of needs a purpose, right?
Yeah, why are you doing all this?
Exactly. That purpose is number 20, financial goal.
Your target.
Your target, defined as a target or dream that requires money, like buying a car, saving for marriage, or planning a trip. A concrete example. My financial goal is to buy a house in 5 years.
And this guide really wraps up by emphasizing why these goals are so important. Having clear financial goals, it isn't just about the money itself, it's about motivation.
Keeps you going.
Yeah. They help you stay focused, plan your steps better, and just give your whole financial journey some direction.
So there we have it. We've walked through those 20 building blocks, right from the basic idea of money all the way to setting those financial goals.
And this source, it makes a really powerful case for understanding these specific terms, especially in English, actually. It highlights how this vocabulary kind of unlocks access to a whole world of information: English newspapers, news reports, official bank stuff, job communications, online forms.
All that stuff.
And maybe most importantly, just the ability to have confident conversations about money matters.
Yeah, it really positions understanding these terms not just as, like, learning definitions in a vacuum, but as gaining fluency. Fluency in the language that so much of the financial world actually operates in. It gives you the power to navigate it, you know?
Totally.
And the guide's practical advice is really encouraging, too. It says, look, you don't have to become some overnight financial wizard. Just start small. Maybe learn and practice 2 or 3 words daily. Use them in sentences. Try to run them into your real life somehow. It breaks down what seems like a big challenge into really manageable steps.
Right. These 20 words really are presented as that foundational vocabulary, the essential building blocks from this source material.
Absolutely. And what's particularly insightful, I think, from how this guide concludes, is this idea that understanding these seemingly simple fundamental words, it's way more than just academic knowledge.
It's practical.
It's very practical. It's about getting the essential tools you need to actively navigate the financial world around you, to make informed decisions, and ultimately to move purposefully towards your own personal financial goals. It really shows that taking this first simple step, just learning the language, can genuinely unlock significant possibilities for your future.